So good to have you join us again on the program TMI on the ITV network. On Saturday, former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs and Senior Advocates of Nigeria, I'm talking about Kabir Turaki SAN, emerged as the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party PDP. Turaki emerged at the national convention of the party in Ibadan, Oyo State, where delegates from 17 states across the country cast their votes to choose national officers. But that wasn't the big news. The big news has to do with the expulsion of Expulsion of Wike, Ayodele Fayose, and of course Sam Anyanwu, and I think another person, Dan Orbih of Edo State, from the party. We heard this morning a chieftain of the party, but they just saying it will take Wike 4 years to return back to the PDP, as it were. But we're also seeing some of the reactions trailing that incident. For instance, Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, has distanced himself from the expulsion of the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Expulsion of Wike, from the party. Interesting one. And then I think it's the former governor of Taraba State that has also indicated interest to leave the party and join the APC. So hard times ahead for the party. I'm joined now by Fayose Okbere, who is a chieftain of the PDP. Fayose, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
We also have Bishop Austin Igbasen, who is a public commentator. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Frank Ohiosun is a political analyst, author, will be joining us online as we deep in this conversation. Fayose, I know you probably will just conclude that these expulsions were long overdue as far as the party is concerned, but they are saying that they've not been expelled from the party. I mean, we've seen the reactions trailing it. Isn't this too much, a little bit too much for the party to handle against the background that the party is working towards 2027?
Well, I think it's, we'll call it a good radiance to bad rubbish, or whatever they call it, but the truth is that it was long overdue, like you rightly said, and you know, within the PDP structure, within the PDP family, there's been a lot of bad eggs who have long compromised integrity, sold their soul, and you know, helping the president to push Nigeria into a one-party state that the president, you know, is desperately trying to achieve. And I'm happy that some members of the PDP have realized that, you know, they need to take both steps in defending democracy, you know, because democracy is supposed to be for a system that protects the rights of not only opposition, but also the media, also civil society, and all of that. And allowing it to collapse into a one-party state would have been a great disaster. So the PDP, you know, removing some of these bad eggs, some of them, because there are still some others within the PDP who are still bad eggs that have not been removed. You know, particularly, you know, Wike. You know, Wike has been a very bad egg in the PDP. You know, has been a destructive factor in the PDP. You know, has been someone who has decided for his own personal interest, because the president has engaged him, giving him one of the biggest portfolios in his administration, you know, solely for the purpose of destroying the opposition for him. And that's what he was rewarded for by being the minister of the FCT. Now that has been removed for him, because he cannot say he's a member of the PDP anymore. He has been expelled, you know, and we are hoping that, you know, we're able to fish out the remaining bad eggs, remove them from the system, and let the opposition get its ass together and challenge the president. Nigeria is not going forward. Nigeria is not making progress, and we need a viable opposition. We need the PDP to be strong. We need the opposition to be together. We need an opposition that can speak for Nigerians. Because if the PDP collapses today, it is not only the PDP members who will suffer it. It's Nigerians who will suffer it. Because, you know, if you say you are practicing democracy, you need an opposition that will be able to stand its ground and say, okay, this is what, or provide an alternative for the people. If you don't have a system where there is no alternative for the people, then you are going to slip into anarchy. You are going to slip into authoritarianism, which is what we're experiencing in Nigeria today, where you see a governor in Kogi will come out and tell you that anybody who criticizes the president will be dealt with. You come to Edo, you see a governor who will tell you that anybody that does not wear the president's cap you should not enter ESCO meetings. You go to different places and you see the level of arrogance, the level of arrogance that is going on within the country, within the politics, whereby you see a president who comes into power in less than 3 months. They started campaigning for the next election that's supposed to be 4 years' time. We see all this nonsense going on. The INEC has not lifted the restrictions on campaigns, but you go around, you see billboards of the president everywhere. Okay. All the major roads, even in Benin, in Delta, everywhere. It's not supposed to be like this.
Okay. All right, let me pause you there. Bishop, you've been following these events for a long time, and finally, the PDP has summoned the courage to hold this convention. New leaders emerge, but not without the usual crisis that trace such convention. We saw the court injunctions, court orders, counter orders, and all of that. At some point, it was as though the convention wasn't going to hold. I was so sure the convention wasn't going to hold until I spoke with my colleague Agboju Ikwara, who was live at the convention ground. So what do you make of all of these in the build up to 2027? And then you have these seeming tantrums against Mr. President that his party is trying to galvanize Nigeria into a one-party state.
To me, I look at it that one thing about PDP is that it's like PDP is under a spell. I can tell you for free. If you remember, you interviewed me on this same station during the campaign, and I think the PDP guy who was there was almost ready to tear my cloth that day when I was telling him the gospel truth that I have been following Trent even while he is still somewhere. Now, you look at what built up to what Wike is doing. You ask yourself question, my brother talk of selfish interest. What was the selfish interest? That this particular slot of presidential should go to the south. Do you call that one a personal interest? He contested as a normal party person. Even though if you said he failed, that slot of presidential candidate is for the south. How will you put your chairman as a northerner and also put your presidential candidate as a northerner? So that's why I tell you that the party is under a major spell. Even taking a decision of expelling these people at this moment. You expel Fayose when he was doing his birthday. You expel people who have contributed. Let us look at those who are expelling who now. How many of them have been consistent and loyal to PDP like that Wike they are talking about now? Do you know that every house needed a stubborn child? That when you, how do you manage your crisis? We are here when Obaseki was here in APC. He fought, and when he came again, when he finished with PDP, when all of us supported him, at the end of the day, when he wants to go, how did he nominate his candidate that contested here? Even with the trend of how his own candidate emerged, you can be able to look from far and see defeat ahead. When the stakeholders that needed to be carried along. I'm a bishop of a church. I have people that are bad in the church. Do I throw them away? We have people that we know they are doing wrong thing. But what do we do? By the word of God, we bring, the Bible says faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of God. We call them to order. We talk to them. There are some of them, we enforce something, they didn't take it. We still bring them together. So the question is that you want to do, there are ways you can manage these people. That's why I'm saying, let us start from the foundation. How many of them have been in the PDP since the PDP started? And they never switch over left and right. All the people that are expelling who now? How many of them? Fayose have been in PDP from beginning. He has never jumped ship. He has stayed consistent. All of us were here to see how Fayose fought the government of Buhari to stand still when everybody was not talking. We saw when Buhari placed Fayose and Wike on travel ban as a sitting governor. Where were those people today who are expelling these people? These are people that stood in as a sitting governor. The president placed them on travel ban. And these people came up. Why? Because they are always considered. Will you remember when Fayode's wife was arrested in Zenith in Ekiti State? Governor Fayose left his office to go there physically and tell them, I will seize your CFO. You must release this woman. These are people that fought and took us out of the authoritative government of that time. Now, how do you handle them? How do you talk about them? You can bring these people together and reconcile your people. To me, as an outsider, I tell you that even the issue of going to coalition, the calculation is that what they are doing is that you did a convention, and the first thing you do is to expel some people. That is the first, that you call it victory now. Expelling them is a victory. It's not a victory. I can tell you for free. What PDP is trying to do is eventually what you see in ADC is going to come back to PDP.
Yeah, but they've been accused of anti-party activities, working as moles in the PDP for the interest of the APC. Isn't that sacrilegious in political space?
Let me ask you, sir. Even in APC, are people not working against APC who are in the same party of APC and they are working against their party? Is it a new thing today? What you do is that there are people you cannot edge out in a system, that you just need to manage them and understand them and give platform. Okay, like I tell you, the beginning of the crisis is that let it go to the south. What was wrong then? At least they went to pick somebody from Benue to be the chairman, somebody that have no political weight. And you could see the party drifting towards failure of 2023. But at the end of the day, the party will tell you, INEC did this one did that, but they never look inward to look at what are the areas. If people have listened to what Wike is saying that time, let this slot go to the south. How can a northerner be contesting when another northerner has finished 8 years under normal condition? A sane person, can you do that? Even one person, not talking of a party. And this guy shouted to the rooftop, and yet everybody said nothing happened, nothing will happen, and yet we went to doom. Even our brother here in Delta was running around to be a vice president on something that even a fool can see that this ship is heading nowhere. So where do we call, when we talk of political party, we're talking about interest, and also we have gentleman agreement. What happened to that agreement? If you want to deal with a problem, you look at the remote cause and the immediate cause. How do we arrive here? Okay. We arrive here because somebody said this is the slot of the south. And yet you cannot have a party that want to govern Nigeria, and you have your chairman and your presidential candidate from one part of Nigeria, and you call it, you want to tell us that that party is a party that believes in all? Now, have we gone back to that area to deal with that issue? How many of them, how many meetings have they been able to call? You can remove as many as possible of Wike, but what benefit will you get from that? Because when you are taking a decision as a party, you will look at what is the effect of this decision on us.
Okay. Let me get,
as a party.
Let me get my colleague Kadri to join the conversation from Abuja Network Studio. Kadri, I'm sure you want to, get our panelists here to ventilate the views, on these latest development with the PDP.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sonny. Yeah, our panelists are doing just very well, but I like to look at this in three folds. Before the convention, so many things happened, which of course resulted to the issue of some of the members going to court, and the party says you cannot take us to court. Then you have during the convention, some members were expelled, about 8 of them. We have Wike, you have Fayose, you have Samuel Otom, Samuel Anyanwu, you also have Umar Bature, you have Danobi, you have Kamal Din, and and then I think one other person. And then that's during the convention. Then after the convention, you have some persons coming out to say they distance themselves from that pronouncement. And of course, we saw how the chieftain of the party, Bode George, read one section of the party's rules and regulation or constitution, saying they have erred. A party member taking the party to court is an aberration. And as a result, he raised the motion. It was seconded, it was passed into voice vote, and then they were expelled. So to the bishop, this is what some people believe that it is long time coming. Do you allow somebody to continue to drag the party, in the mud when, of course, you know that 2027 is just by the corner. Then to our other guests there, you know that the issue of court, the Supreme Court has addressed it severally, that issue of the party should be left for the party to deal with internally. If you have a former governor who knows that the deadline to obtain form is on the 3rd of September, and the governor waited until 27th of September to say, I want to buy form, is that not a violation of the rules that have been set for the purchase of form? And such a person still went ahead to go to the court and say, court, give me a judgment to stop them from going ahead with the convention, or they include me in chairmanship. Let's get your reaction to this.
So let's start with Bishop now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I felt is that you cannot allow somebody in a house to destroy the house.
Okay.
That is why I said the mechanism of the party to resolve issue, you have to exhaust it. You have to call people instead of striking somebody. There are people within a system that you know they can be a spoiler, and you don't also play into their hand as a party. What you need to do is that these persons that are agitating, what is the agitation? How many times have we called them together as a party and said this and that, what are your grievances, and let us put it on the table and deal with it and be able to sort it. That's why I gave the example of Atiku at that time. Everybody was expecting him at that time to call the party, warring party, as a presidential candidate. But that one was ignored, that it doesn't matter. We're going to swim through. What I feel is that there is a problem. This guy is offended. There are some persons that are not happy. There is no party today in the world where you have everybody happy. But you just look at some stakeholder and you bring them together. That's why I gave the example of Obaseki at that time when Asue was to be the governorship aspirant here. How did that one emerge? But look at APC. They have an issue with their primary. And what happened? At the end of the day, they make it inconclusive. And eventually the person who is deputy governor today was the one that they said was declared winner at that time. But it was resolved within how many hours? And they did another primary. And the same person who was governorship candidate became deputy governor. And everybody silent. How do you deal with your issue? Now you talk of one party state. The same man who became president today, they took all Yoruba states were taken. Southwest state was taken by Obasanjo from him. Did the man shout to the rooftop? Everybody that is a politician must be strategic. Look at the strategy that Tinubu put in place and eventually recover Osun, recover Ekiti, recover Ondo State from later Gagu, and eventually the man took over all the state back to that party without shouting anybody want to turn Nigeria to party state. Was it not PDP that was in power then that took over all the southwestern state? But the man who remained in Lagos did not make noise, because politics is not by making noise and making rash decisions. It's about strategic planning. And look at who are this, who are that, and spoiler. Why did God say, look at the issues that are around us? God give us wisdom to be able to call some people to the round table and look at it. It's about interest. What do you want? How do we go about it? And we just deal with this issue. That's why I told you now. I told you of how Tinubu got all the southwest state back without saying Obasanjo want to kill me. He was not making any noise. But gradually, without having the central power, he took over those states back again and stabilized. Today is a president. You say you want to take everybody. You have a party that every day your governors are leaving. Okay, the governor that have decamped now from PDP to APC, is it Wike that went to preach to them? That when you say you remove Wike now, say it's the cancer of your party. All the governors that have left, is it Wike that converted all of them into the party? Data has left, and you say it's not an issue, and you say the man does not have sense. This other one that have left, you say they don't have sense. Now, who is going to have sense in your party? And within the same governors that you are having now, you have more than 2 or 3 that are on their way out. And yet you say it is not an issue. And that is the best time you can send other people away. That you know that these people, if you manage them well, you can also use them to win those who are about to leave your party. That is what I'm saying. Internal structure of the party. Have you exhausted? Somebody is doing anti-party. The other one is doing anti-party. Do you not bring them? Look at the value of people. Politics is about what is the weight of this man. The man you are sending out of your party, does he have weight? We were here when a chairman who came from Benue that cannot win the front of his father's house was made a chairman of a party. And everybody saw that this man is a paperweight politician. Yet a party said they stick to him. Instead of bringing either a Southerner to be their chairman, and we are heading towards something, we saw the result, and we are looking at another one coming in 2027, we say we are taking decision. Do you know that laws, you check your law when you are taking decision, and you choose your fight. Okay. There are people as a party, you don't fight them because you know how to sort them out. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that they don't have their issue, or they have not stepped on toe, or they have not taken some decision. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that you look at the weight of these guys to your party. What is their political weight? What is their loyalty over the years? Because party must reward loyalty. Okay. Those who are expelling them today, how many times have they moved out of PDP and returned back as converted prodigal son? But the people you are expelling now, ask yourself, have they ever left this party? All of us knew what Wike went through in the hand of Buhari for election. All of us knew what it took the whole world for the man to announce the winner of the election. We knew how many weeks it took us. Yet you say you are throwing that man because he has an issue today. If that is how God throw all of us away, how are we?
Just a moment. We'll come to you. Just a moment.
It's not balanced. We have to have
they will come to
you. We'll come to you.
What I'm saying is that these people that are expelling Wike, how loyal were they to the party? Have we checked their DNA over the years? Okay. That the person you are expelling, Fayose, have been in PDP from beginning.
Is it about the distance or the years you spent, or about your activities and how it is promoting the party?
Sir, loyalty to the party from beginning.
Yes.
These persons have not left your party. They have been there.
All right.
When you talk about sponsoring and backing up the party financially, some of them help you to also get the state you lost back. Are we going to throw those appreciation into the mouth?
Let me push you there, Bishop. We have more people that are on the verge of leaving the party. Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas has announced he will officially join the APC, apparently dissatisfied with the outcome of the convention. But from the legal perspectives, the action taken by the party is bound by the internal rules, the constitution of the party, and even the Supreme Court judgment, several of Supreme Court judgments about the internal working, internal activities of the party. This substantiates this expulsion. So what do you make of the reaction that have trade this expulsion?
Well, the Supreme Court in its own right has said several times in Nigeria that, you know, the actions of political parties are their prerogative. The political parties have their internal mechanism to run themselves, and the court should not be dragged into issues of political parties. The Supreme Court have said that over and over and over again. Now let's look at what my brother was saying just now when he said that the former governor of Jigawa State, take that for example.
Sule Lamido.
Yes. You know, the party came out and said, we are selling nomination forms for chairmanship. If you want to contest as the national chairman of the party, you have between now and September 3rd to buy your form and all of that. They set up a panel to do screening and all of that. After all of that has been done, you come out on the 27th. On the 27th of September, about 3 weeks after the closing date of the date that the party has put as the closing date for the sales of form. Yeah. You come back and you are saying that, oh, the party refused to sell form for you. You know, we cannot continue to entrench a system of indiscipline. When you talk about some of the issues that you see around political party, whether in PDP, APC, LP, you know, there's a consistent entrenchment of indiscipline that has been going on, where people feel, oh, that because I am this, I can do what I like, and I'm that, I can do what I like. Some of these people there were committees that were set up. One of them was headed by our own Chief Tommy Kimi for reconciliation, for all of that. A lot of rooms were given to people to come to the table and say, okay, let's put some of these issues behind. But when you have a system of someone who is desperate, to destroy a foundation because he's getting something from the president or from the other side, then it becomes difficult for you to put up any kind of reconciliation attempt because people are already falling from behind. And that's what we are seeing. We are seeing it not only in the PDP, we are seeing it in the Labour Party as well. We're also seeing it in the ADC. People are within the system, within the federal government, pumping money, pumping resources, money that should have been used to better the life of Nigerians, pumping it into destabilizing political parties. Let me give you a clear example. There was a report, by two major newspapers in Nigeria who reported that, that the president is paying up to 250 billion naira to a government that is defective.
No, there's no evidence to back that up.
There's no evidence to back it, but the party, the APC, the presidency, and all of that have never. Go and check your records. They have never come out to say this is not true. Never. Let me give you another example. In Delta State, the former governor of Delta State was accused of embezzling over $1 trillion naira. The EFCC opened up an investigation against him. He was arrested, taken to Port Harcourt. What was the deal? Today, where's the case? He is going about campaigning for the president. The case has been quashed. In Kogi State, the former governor was accused of embezzling money. In fact, there was evidence that he used the sent money from the state coffers to pay for his children's school fees abroad. It was not even hearsay, it was fact. Today, the case is nowhere to be seen. He's out there campaigning and going around with the president. When millions of Nigerians are hungry, you have a system where the president, out of desperation, is willing to coffer 250 billion naira to give to a governor to defect from his party to come and join him. And this is not money given to the states to work. This is money given to the governor as personal money, not even the one going to senators.
No, the president told you that.
Well, they have not denied it. They have not denied it. Nobody has denied it. Okay. Nobody.
Okay.
Let me finish that. Nobody has denied it. It's there. Nobody has denied it. As we speak, nobody has denied it. Not the presidential spokesmen have not come to say, oh, what this people reported was a lie. No. They have not denied it. We have a system where the president came in, and his whole idea is to transform Nigeria into a one-party state the way he has practically made Lagos State to look like. And we are talking about, it's what happened with this, what happened with that. We forget that, because Bishop said that in his church that there are also bad eggs. If you identify bad eggs in your organization and you're not able to deal with it, it tells a lot about your personality as a leader. Because sometimes when you allow indiscipline to fester on, when you allow indiscipline, because Nigeria is where we are today because of the gross indiscipline in the judiciary, in the police, in the lives of Nigerians. Everywhere you look at, you see indiscipline. You see people who are drinking water and throwing the rubbish on the street. You see indiscipline. Whereas when you go abroad, when you go to that place, you see a more disciplined society in their political system, in their public life, in their personal lives. Now we are encouraging indiscipline. Somebody will go to another party. He will be in a political party. He will take a position in another party's position and start using it to work against his own political interests. Go to his state and elect the party, the APC, in his own local government and put them as chairman. Drag his political party to court. When you know fully well that in the PDP constitution, in the constitution of the party, that you cannot take the party to court. And when we talk about the outcome of whatever happened in this convention, the convention is the highest organ of the party. It's the highest organ of the party. The convention does not need to set up disciplinary committees or anything. The convention is the highest organ. Whatever decision that is taken at the convention of a party is binding on the party. The court will not have power to come and say, oh, a convention whatever they did in the convention is not avoid. No, you can't say that. The convention is the highest organ of the party. The delegates from all across the state have come out and said, these guys have been problem for our state. You are a minister in Tinubu's government, you are a member of PDP, and you have already endorsed the president for 2027, and you want to remain in PDP. And somebody is here rationalizing for you that you are a founding member of the PDP. Fayose has come out, went to an APC rally in Ekiti State, and endorsed Tinubu, and endorsed the APC governor there in the state. And you want him to remain in the party. You want to call those kind of people for reconciliation. What kind of reconciliation are you going to do with people who have already made up their minds to destroy the foundation of the party? There's no kind of reconciliation. Okay. So any attempt to reconcile those kind of people, you're just wasting your time.
All right. Now, we'll come back in just a moment. It's not over yet on this emergence of Turaki as the chairman of the PDP, the fallout of the National Convention. But we're looking at some of the issues that are ancillary to that decision. Our guest is still here. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Stay with us on the program TMI on the ITV network.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program TMI on the ITV network as we continue our discussions on the outcomes of the just concluded PDP National Convention. That convention has brought forth a lot of things, but most topical of them is the expulsion of some founding members, some key members of the party. Our panelist here, Fayose Ogbere, a chieftain of the PDP. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And of course, Bishop Austin Igbasa, public affairs commentator.
Thank you,
we actually thought that we could have Frank Hiosu, a public affairs analyst and author, join this conversation. We hope you'll be able to make it. Of course, my colleague Kadri is still with us on this conversation from our Abuja network studio. Okay, let's come back here. Now, the stage is set for a very interesting battle ahead for the PDP. And the action taken by the party is justified by its constitution. But there's something I'd like you to react to. We have seen a Wike who is one of the most outstanding minister in the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whether anybody likes it. If you go to Abuja, you see the comments, you see the way people talk about him, even though he has found himself in very, very controversial circumstances. I mean, with the one that happened with the young naval officer not too long ago. But we've seen a Wike who has consistently and constantly worked against the interest of the party. In the local government election in Rivers State, we saw Wike aiding and abetting the emergence of all APC candidates in that local government election in a state that has a sitting PDP governor. That's just one out of many, infractions. I mean, are these justifiable? Your argument is that he perhaps was robbed, or perhaps he was not given what was due him in the decision of choosing who becomes the presidential candidate, especially zoning it to the south. But is it something he should hold on to for this long against the interest of the party if he is saying, whatever he was aspiring for was for the betterment of the south, not his personal interest? If he didn't get it, why didn't he just put that behind and work for the overall interest of the political party that he belongs to?
Like my brother said here, on the comment I made, that even in my organization, in our organization, there are bad heads.
Yes.
And he cannot even say in his family there are no bad people. And why I don't, that one does not say I'm a bad person. When I see somebody bad and I'm talking to the person, persuading the person, instead of using stick to break the head of the person. If God give opportunity for the prodigal son to come to his father, I, as a bishop, I cannot send anybody out of church. There was somebody that was selling alcohol that was in our church, in one of our branch. The whole street, he said he want to come and join this church. This church is good. I should remove the woman from the church. I told them I will not remove the woman because I want the woman to change. Today I prayed for the woman, and the woman is blessed today. She's a dealer. At the end of the day, I told them, I said, I didn't expel her from church. Today she's a dealer selling car. She no more sell alcohol. That is how a good leader should do. I cannot send
to
somebody
transform people.
Yeah, transform people.
But when you find people who can't be transformed, who are beyond transformation, what happens?
Why I'm saying this one is that he said he tests about my kind of person.
Okay,
that's what I want to clear.
I wasn't talking about you, sir.
No. You quoted what I said,
no.
and you said if I cannot send a bad person out of a system, it also falls back on my kind of person.
About your character.
So that I need to.
He said that he didn't mean it.
I'm an author.
He said he doesn't mean it that way.
I'm an author.
Yeah.
I'm an author. I've authored 198 books.
No,
so when somebody is talking,
Bishop,
I read logic on how to break your sentence.
If he says that he didn't mean it that way. No, hold on, Bishop, hold on. I want us to leave here, on the same note with which we started the conversation. He is saying here and now that he didn't mean it that way. He was actually talking about the context was a political party. And that's exactly what I'm even talking about now. That Wike now, that is a major subject of discussion, is in the party. And these are the activities that he's doing. I'd like you to take it off from there, Bishop.
Yes. What I'm saying is that this is, when you say somebody is acting somehow, you ask yourself, that's why I talk about remote and immediate cause.
Yes.
That why is this person talking and doing this? Are you telling me that in the whole world now, minus the Almighty God, there are no people who can speak to Wike and Wike will listen to them? Are we saying he's somebody that no human being can talk to?
It could be that he's on a revenge mission. Haven't lost that in that election.
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that he should be president. And that is not the bone of contention that they should give it to him. But the fight was that let a Southerner be your presidential candidate and let the chairman. Now, since you have chosen Atiku, let the chairman go. Do you remember that was the last fight? That let the chairman go. Since we have now said we are using a Northerner, let the chairman go. They said they can't let the chairman go. So, do you say that Wike want to become chairman of PDP as at that time? No. He might want to be a president. And since that one has been given to Atiku, the issue is that change our chairman. So I come back to say, whatever that action you have mentioned now is not a good action for your party. Now, number one is that this is not the first time that you will appoint. Let us get beyond this level of every sitting governor or president must bring everybody from his party. If you remember late Yaradua, after they announced and he said, I concur that this election was flawed with a lot of irregularities. I'm going to start electoral reform. Now I give and no leave to Buhari to bring people to the government. Buhari said he's not bringing anybody, that he's not part of that government. He's not going to be this. That is not, it is wrong for us to have the mindset that, doctor, if you become governor of Edo State now, you cannot pick somebody from opposition to stand with you. Picking somebody from opposition show how large your heart of leadership is, and that you also believe in other people who know what you don't know. There is one of the ministers today that all of us knew that when they were asking him questions by the Senate, he's one of those people that abused Mr. President throughout the campaign. Today, the guy is a sitting minister. And the president prevailed on National Assembly that this guy has something to offer. Despite all the stupid things he has said about me. That is leadership. Wike must not be crucified that he was made a minister of FCT. Let us go beyond this politics of if you are APC, if you are PDP, we must destroy ourselves. You cannot pick no good thing from my side that can come in. For a leader to pick somebody from opposition is a leader that have likeness of heart and believe that somebody else. That's what I quoted one of the ministers who abused Mr. President on tweets throughout the campaign. He's not a member of APC. But Mr. President look at his CV and know that this guy can contribute to my government. He prevailed on the National Assembly to screen him, even when they were reminding him all the stupid things he said. He said, please, all what we need is the capacity of this guy. Look at what the guy is doing in this government today. The capacity he brought it inside. What I'm saying is that for him to be made a minister is not a sin, but the action of working against the interest of his party, I didn't support. But what I'm saying is that when we have such an issue, there are platforms we can reconcile. Okay, you say Wike is bad. As tough as Wike is, as stubborn as Wike is, Mr. President is managing him. And yet, Mr. President is not a chairman of his party. Yet, he managed him.
What are his actions towards his party? His actions, to what extent are his actions benefiting his so-called party, the PDP.
I can tell you.
We shouldn't be concerned about that.
I can tell you for free that all those who won the election are also PDP members in that party. I can tell you for free. Let a PDP man here, a PDP man here, verify it. If you say Wike is working for the interest of somebody that is coming afresh, it is a lie from the pit of hell. All those who won that election are people with him from PDP who are having DNA of PDP in their system. These are things. It's something that is verifiable. All the people that won the election, are they new people who were in opposition when he's not a madman? They are not his opposition. They are his men who have been in PDP and following the trend of what is happening. What I'm saying here is that there is an issue. Do we say Wike does not have somebody that can say, please stop fighting? Is that what we are saying? But the judge now is a senior man who had been a former governor of Ondo State. We all knew what he did in our state when he was there that time. He's talking at this old day. He's one of those who said if they win the election, he's going to leave Nigeria. Now he's talking, well, as an elder statesman, he has been in Port Harcourt when Wike was in government. What has changed now between now? What I'm saying is that there are issues. We identify issues. You remember this same Wike was here when Obaseki was in government, and we are doing election here. And Buhari brought about 6 APC governors here to intimidate the election. But Wike life was even at risk. He was out here in this Edo for the man to win election. So all those labor, we want to throw it away. People you say they are wrong, they have some capacity you need in your party. Are we saying that this Wike, there is nobody in this world that can talk to him and say, okay, this is the issue you are talking about. We are addressing it now. Let it be 60, let it be 40. 60 interest to you, 40 interest to your party. Oh, 40 to you, 60 to your party. If party cannot resolve their problem, and it is how to govern Nigeria that is their issue, then where is the capacity to solve Nigeria problem? Where is the capacity? If we cannot solve this Wike issue, people that are not less than 16, we cannot manage them and keep them in the party, and we say we must throw them away, not looking at yesterday. Where were those people who are expelling Wike now? When Wike was in Edo State with us here, when Buhari won the election to go the other way.
Okay, all right, let me...
Ganduje, all of them were here, all here, in the street of Benin.
Now we'll take a quick
when Wike was kept on house arrest.
We'll take a quick commercial break. It's still TMI on the ITV network. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Make we talk. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, it's your time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up, and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. With Colgate, now to do ya, down with your smile.
Thanks again for rejoining us on the program TMI on the ITV network as we continue to X-ray, analyze, and review the outcomes of the PDP National Convention, which brought forth a new national chairman. But of course, that has been dwarfed with the expulsion of key members of the party who have been speaking and reacting to the latest decision. Let me come to you now, Fayose. We're here now. The feeling is that those experts from the party are what you can call political heavyweights, have the capacity to hold their own anytime, any day, as far as the political space of Nigeria is concerned, particularly with the fact that we are pushing towards a major election in 2027. Don't you think this is going to have far-reaching implications for the party in the election itself?
Well, the truth is that the damage that this so-called heavyweight is doing to the party is more than the whatever assumption of heavyweight that they are. Let me give you an example. In 2023, there was a general election in Nigeria, a presidential election in Nigeria, and the Labour Party won 12 states. Of that 12 states where they won, they had not a councillor. They didn't have a councillor in, I'm not even talking about a governor, I'm talking about a House of a Rep member. I'm not talking about a senator. I'm not talking about a commissioner. They had not even a councillor in one ward of the 12 states that the Labour Party won. Go and check. Go and do your research on that. So, you know, sometimes when we say people are heavyweights, we call this, oh, heavyweights. Heavyweight this, heavyweight that. It's just, we are giving too much relevance to some of these heavyweights. The people that matter in a democracy, what matters in a democracy is the people. And it was proven in 2023. It was proven that when the people decide that they want to go this way, it is very difficult to change it. We've seen it over and over again. We saw it in 2020 during the NSAS struggle. You saw it when the people have made up their mind over a particular issue. It is the people, because democracy is about the people, not about a particular heavyweight. So you can't say you are a heavyweight and all you are doing is destroying. If Wike was doing to the APC what he's doing to the PDP right now, the president will not manage him. You can't say the president is managing him. No. He is doing the president's bidding. So that's why the president is keeping him. If he was going about destroying the foundation of the APC in different states, the president will not manage. The president will not condone him. So he said the president is managing him. What context are we talking about? He's managing him because he's helping to destroy his opposition. He's not doing anything for the president that you say is extraordinary. That's the truth. And you can't say you are a heavyweight and all you do is to destroy a foundation, an institution. Because in Africa, what we have mostly is weak institutions and strong men. And we are the one who encourage it because we want to see that big man who we think that he's the one who is ruling, who's the one who is controlling. And we undermine the people. And we continue to undermine the power of the people. What is the population of registered voters in Nigeria? What is the population of the ruling class? If you put the members of PDP together, the members of APC, ADC, Labour, the members, registered members of political parties together, it doesn't make up 1% of the population of Nigeria. If you put the population of politicians, governors, House of Rep members, senators, councillors, in all the 36 states, local government chairmen, it doesn't make up 0.1% of the population of Nigeria. So there is nothing like heavyweight. Elections will be decided by the people.
So the expulsion doesn't mean anything to
it doesn't mean anything because what they've been doing, in fact, if it's for any reason, it means that the PDP have taken a bold step in trying to put their house in order. Okay. Because you cannot have people who are consistently, you can't be in a party. You say you're in a party. If you want to leave the party, leave the party. You can't say you're a member of a party. Because Bishop went back to say, oh, if we go back to the foundation of the crisis started from when Wike was not giving the presidential ticket or something like that, or it was supposed to return to the south. There was a primaries that was done. In the primaries, the Wike, nobody said the primaries was rigged. Nobody said it was rigged.
They accepted the outcome of the primaries.
It was a free and fair primary. It was done on national TV. Everybody came out, the delegates came out, they voted. That's the beauty of democracy. They came out. See, today, Wike cannot tell you that it was rigged. No. He can't tell you that it was rigged. Whatever happened after the whole process was within their indoor power play. But the truth is that you go out there, you voted. In that night of the primaries, he held the mic and said he will support whoever emerged from that primaries that day. Okay. He said it with his own mouth that he will support whoever emerged from that primaries. Then maybe one or two things happened after then.
He tried to become running mate to Atiku. Also didn't work.
Free and fair primaries. That's what I'm talking about. The primaries that produced Atiku or whatever it is, I may not have supported him. I may not have wanted Atiku to win. I didn't support him for that primaries.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted somebody else.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the primaries came and gone. Somebody else emerged.
All right.
Look, even within the APC, a lot of people did not support the Tinubu. Look at the vote Amechi got. Amechi got about 30% of the vote. It tells you that it was divided.
Yeah.
But, you know, somebody emerged.
So everybody has to accept that fact.
You have to, in the party, in the
All right,
party
let me,
system, you have to
let
accept
me take
it.
a final word there, Bishop.
Wike did not dispute that it was a rigged election. What Wike said is that you have won now. Let chairmanship go to the south.
Okay, which he rejected.
Yes, and the man rejected
On
and
what
he refused
basis?
to come. Let the chairmanship
on the
of
basis
the
of
party,
equity and fairness.
How can you
On
be
the
having
basis of equity
presidential
and
candidate
fairness.
from north and you have the chairman of the party
You have
from north?
a president who is, you have a president now who is a Muslim. You have a vice president who is a Muslim. And you as a bishop have not said that it's wrong.
Sir.
Is that supposed to be right?
No, what happened?
In the history
No,
of the
we're talking about that's for the APC's decision. That's the APC's
It's for the
decision.
same
No,
thing we're talking about.
it's the APC's
What I'm-
decision.
what
He's
I'm
talking about the party.
You can't tell a party to
PDP.
remove a national chairman because
Sir.
you didn't win.
Sir.
All right, he has the floor.
What I said is that equity is that chairmanships from south, presidential candidate from the north. Let us go. You remember there was a meeting after that convention where the presidential candidate emerged. That okay, and the meeting was that now Yocha Ayu should step down. But Atiku held his ground that he would rather go with Yocha Ayu. And what I'm saying is that as a party, what I'm saying is that I believe very strongly. We have mentioned, I've told you about Mr. President, how he tactically and strategically won back the Southwest without making noise. What I'm concerned about is that it is very easy to remove somebody from party. Is the easiest. Look at the way they did it, very easy. But I can tell you that 2027, this decision taking will affect their 2027.
All right, thank you.
We will still be here alive.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is where we
I will remind you.
wrap on this segment of the show. Fares, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.